Just so you guys know, just we're going to talk about PSVR.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Lewis Knight, and we back again in my PSVR, and we chilling with Gamer Tag, VR Grid, Shockhead. No, we about to start this PSVR chat show. It's gonna be dope, guys. So stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? We got everybody here. Let's go.
Hello, and welcome to the Preacher Plays. It went quiet for a minute. It felt like a good time.
Yeah, awesome.
It's good, man. It's good.
That was funny. That was really funny, though. We were all whispering at the same time, trying to do our intros. Like,
hey, welcome to the Preacher Plays.
Welcome to the Preacher Plays.
Welcome to the PSVR chat show.
That could be Preacher's brother in there. It doesn't matter.
We don't even. Dunham from Electric Hat Games, and we've got Ryan from the VR Grid. Shughead. The Preacher Plays. Justin PSVR. God Cannon. The Livinator. And Lewis Knight PSVR. And this room was created by Jimif Jamif and Jason the Livinator. And you're going to see this level, and it's really cool. Everyone's putting loads of effort. Where's Richard?
That's a real crowd.
It's at his waiting at his house right now.
He's what?
Richard is at the top.
A lot of people.
No, righty, guys, that's it then. We've got to make our way up the top, guys.
I guess it's time to go to the top, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, really?
Wink, wink, pun intended.
One at a time. Single file, guys. Single file.
Yes, Lewis.
Oh, I messed up already. See, I messed up already. I'm going to go last. I suck.
This feels like Christmas morning now.
What's up, Clark? So basically, the guys have been made to the top level.
This is actual to the top level.
I'm sorry, Shug. I jumped on your head.
The to the top dev made this.
By to the top.
Richard Matey has made a nice message for us on the way in.
Oh, look at the guys. Look at them go.
Oh, I fell. I'm going to go this way.
If anyone's jumping on the stream,
if you guys can't tell here,
this is cool. Messages because we've got a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, pets.
Woo, man. So.
Hey, you can go up the side.
Hey.
Oh no, this is where I fell. I'm going to fly.
Very cool. I love the move controllers.
We've got a
That's sick.
developer here. We've got the To The Top developer here, which is why this is inspired by To The Top.
Yep. I know this is.
Yeah, for those of you guys just tuning in, and if you can't hear the other guys, we got the To The Top devs, as I said in the description, and
Look at this.
yeah.
This is awesome. This is
To the
really
top
cool.
level that the boys created. Welcome
Hey,
to the
I made it.
PSVR chat show.
What up?
What's up? What's up?
Here they all are.
That's sweet.
Very cool. Look at the move controllers. Those move controllers are so dope.
Sweet.
That is amazing.
I love the headset. I love the headset.
And
That is the biggest. Guys, you should have put analog sticks on those. I'm just kidding.
What the hell? I did it again.
Shughead got that. Shughead got it.
Yeah, got it.
Right. Whenever you want.
Nice.
I was going to say, before we get started talking, let's have some donuts and some root beer.
Yeah, this is we're in Rec Room right now, and to the
There you go.
to the top devs made this level, and it's awesome. Oh wait, I want one of the glazed. Don't take the glazed.
God, can I talk two?
Before they're
This
gone.
is mine. Okay.
Okay. I didn't take two. No, I took two. I'm sorry.
Holy shit.
Hey, you gotta
Taking
see
some
the
donuts.
Cheers.
Holy crap.
No.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. To PSVR.
All right.
I'll be out there. There you go.
Making it rain all over.
This is amazing, guys. This is really good.
Yeah, this looks really cool. I just want to look at it like this. This is gonna. We should do. We gotta do like a screenshot there, like a picture, a group photo on top of stage.
We will have a Kodak moment for sure.
Yeah, right here though. This is my thumbnail right here. This is amazing.
Okay. I'm going for these floor donuts, man.
Guys. GT. You might have too much to drink.
You want to eat my used donut?
I do. I want your used donut.
Look, there's a sun. Look, they made a sun, guys, and the sun is actually it's like spinning on orbit. Look at that. That's a sun. Ryan was actually chilling on the sun before.
Big grown-up children.
Ryan, can I get on my knees in this game?
What's up?
I hope you
Well, if you want me to eat your used donut.
Get on your knees and tell me you love
Oh, This one's cream filled.
Look at all of them.
That's my cream.
Oh, dude.
I'm the floor donut gang. I'll pick up all your floor donuts. I'm good with it.
How far does it go down? All the way down. That's awesome. Can I hear a drop? No.
Oh.
He says sorry.
Finish your donut.
Sorry.
I'm learning buttons here.
Nice.
All right, let me bring my
doing
chair.
this?
I gotta bring my chair up
I'm
to
good
this.
to go.
Looking forward to the switches.
Oh!
Man, you just bottled me.
I wasn't even facing the right way.
Catch it.
Man, I'm loving donut.
I can hear his preacher over there.
Yeah.
Shut up! My donut.
I swear he's had more than me. All right, let's go.
There'll be some pizza.
I guarantee, yeah.
Oh, this is a really comfy couch, guys. Seriously.
I want to sit next to Lewis. I want to sit next to Lewis.
the same way. Nice.
I had the best Firewall stream today. It was awesome. I swear to God.
Last night was
Everything's awesome about Firewall, but we're going to talk
I bet it
about
wasn't
that
as good as
soon.
mine. Oh yeah. Oh. He's
All right, gamer tag, let's take it away.
Principal now.
Yeah, let's get her going.
Yeah, man, so we've got Richard. Is Dan coming today or not?
He'll be here eventually.
Alright, cool,
Send
man.
me a message. So.
So, are we
he's
going to wait
on,
for Dan,
I'll get
or
him
should we
on.
just fire up the questions with you, man?
We could just fire up the questions. That's cool.
Well, let him do his speak first, and then we'll do questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do first?
Well, no, let him talk about the game, and then we'll ask the questions from the YouTubers out there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's talk about To the Top, then.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So, what was like your inspirations behind the game when you made it?
It's definitely looking at it. We wanted to make a platformer. We knew that like VR locomotion was going to be a challenge, so we kind of just looked at like what were like great system sellers, and like Super Mario was like one of those things that like defined a generation, brought the game industry back and all this other good stuff. So that was a huge one. And then we also have Mirror's Edge for first person. So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's good you incorporate multiplayer as well. I think that's one of the biggest things for To the Top. Is it the same amount of players on PSVR as it is on PlayStation?
I think we have a lot more on PlayStation.
Nice.
Yeah, we've had a really good community, so it's
Yeah, man.
really
yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
all those features in there. So yeah,
It is a
go
strong community,
PSVR.
dude. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Should we go through the questions that we got from the viewers?
Yeah.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we
You
should.
want-
We've
You guys got any
we've got a
questions?
few here.
Peter.
I don't have any.
So we've got... No, that's cool. So we've got from Grim Catnip. What were your inspirations for the game, which you just said? Any plans for more levels and any future games being made with the engine?
So for the most part, you guys got all the extra levels, because all the extra levels we got into the PC version, then brought all that stuff to the PlayStation VR as well. So really, we want to make something bigger and better. And that's kind of our next big focus, as well
What
as
are you
like,
trying to say? There's a To the Top 2 coming?
there's something down the line. we haven't nailed down exactly what, but yeah, I don't think it'll be the same engine, but it'll be a better engine. So that'll take a little bit more time, but it'll be extra nice for you guys.
It is an amazing engine already, considering there's no pro features. It is an amazing looking game.
Oh yeah,
Will it have guns?
thanks. Will it have guns? Maybe.
Flaming and guns.
To follow up on that, though, is there any plans? Are you guys continuing support, like as far as like even more modes, like even like hide and seek or tag or something like that? Is there anything in the
Tag. Tag would be quite good.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Maybe. I think the issue is that
Give him the
it
mic
is a little.
and drop it.
I could drop it. No, I think you could hear me better without the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah. No, it's a nice touch. I like the touch. But yeah, doing those extra modes would be really, really neat. It's a little harder to get updates through PlayStation. So if we were to experiment with that stuff, that's when we do it on the PC, and then we could update it like as much as we want. But yeah, we definitely have some plans to do like some really early testing stuff. But that'll be mostly on the PC side for the most part, which, if it was easier, we'd get it to you guys. But for the most part, we have so much more control on the Steam side. So yeah, it's allowed us to really proof of concept our game already, and then bring a polished version to you guys at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
want to ask, can we download the soundtrack?
You find the soundtrack in various places.
One song here, one song there.
YouTube.
But yeah, there might be something down the line where you can get a hold of the soundtrack in a certain way. We haven't announced that yet, but there might be something special.
Yeah, because a lot of people will enjoy the music. A lot of people enjoy the music.
It's a really awesome.
Yeah, and who's the person who created the music?
So it's a bunch of different Austin bands for the most part. So we have Capiac, that's one of the bigger ones. Sloom's on there, Sip Sip, Mirror Mask, and then we have Future Islands, which is not an Austin band, but a bigger one that I wanted to include just because it breaks the mold, and I really love their sound.
Yeah, and you had Breakbot in there. That's a group that I like. They're a new disco group. I was pretty pumped to see that in there.
I think we had Breakbot, but maybe next time.
Well, is there?
What
song are you referring to?
I don't remember the name of it, but it's in there. It was in there.
It should be in there still then.
That could have been on your Spotify.
Like
I was going to say he left his Spotify.
Maybe it's,
Yeah, it could have been.
All right, so we've got another good one here from Non-Profit Socks. He says,
I love that
do you
name.
see the future of PSVR and VR in general, and what are your main goals to achieve on the platform?
what was the question again?
Sorry, the question was, where do you see the future of PSVR and VR in general, and what are your main goals to achieve?
I think it's really just building out that audience, right? Like, slowly but
That's what we're trying to do. That's what all of us try and do on YouTube.
That's what it's all about, because, I know VR is not for everybody, and that's fine. I don't think, you don't need to say, like, VR is the future, because it's not going to, overcome everything else, right? It's just going to be added on to everything else. So people can still play non-VR games, and then people play VR games. It's just finding who that audience is, and then making the best awesome games that make people want to put on the headsets. And that's really, what we're doing. And I think, with the last releases,
definitely fall
the last couple months, we're finding what really works in VR, and and what we can expand on, because we're 11 Firewall 0 now, and we know it's rough in some places, but it's like an archetype that you could build on the future, and you can easily see where that is in 5 years. And for us, it's the same. It's like we have a grander vision of what we could do to the top, and it's not just platforming and stuff like that. There's a lot of things we can do with our mechanics, and we have that vision. It's just getting there, and one step at a time.
I just can't imagine what it must be like to have a vision or a dream of
one small step, bro.
Seeing it and getting in it.
Yeah,
it must be incredible.
It takes a dream, and it takes a little bit of ignorance, because making a game takes a lot of hard work, and it's a big risk. But at the end of the day, we're really happy with it, and we're really lucky. We've been able to find an awesome audience to support it and support us to make the next big thing.
Nice, man. So another question from one of God Cannon's followers. Metcat, what are your future plans at Electric Hat Studios? So I'm assuming they're thinking either what are you working on, or are you expanding teams, or?
Yes, George.
For the most part, yeah. Like, so for To the Top, this is like the most independent project possible. Like, this is money out of our pocket. We didn't get extra support from anybody else besides Panic Button, which employs Dan, and they're really awesome of getting the PSVR version out. But from the ground up, it was out of our pocket to get the base game done for the PC. So really, it'd be great to like. Man. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. So
man.
A lot of
Did you have to quit your original jobs to fully work on this? I mean, it must be such a risk.
Yeah, it is a big risk.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Exactly.
Biscuits.
It's all about rolling those dice. So, you could always get a paycheck at the end of the day, or you could, blaze your own path, and we're trying to blaze our own path. And but I know there's also partners out there. We're very stubborn, and we wanted to just get it out there and get it done. But I know that we could work with other people to, that we're not going to lose control of what our game is, but they just want to support us to make an even better one. So hopefully, we can make some great deals.
Do you have any sales figures? Any sales figures to go with To the Top? Like how it's doing?
So on the PC side, I don't know if I could say on the PlayStation side, but on the PC side, it's about 28,000, which is pretty decent. Our target was like 20,000 because that was kind of the top mark about a year into the VR sales there. So it's not killing it. You're not gonna get that million copy seller. But over time, I think we can get more and more people, and I think it's in my eyes, I have to kind of look at as it's kind of classic in a way of hopefully people can still play it like three years down the line and still like it, 5 years down the line and still like it.
The thing is, hopefully bringing out this game so early in the life of VR, that's given you maybe some sort of advantage.
Right. It is.
Next thing.
Reputation.
Yeah, and reputation.
Absolutely. And seeing all the platforms, because we have a lot of different headsets now, right? We have the PlayStation one, we have the PC stuff with 3 different kinds of headsets.
You got the Vive, you got the Rift,
the Windows,
and then
there's new ones bloody every other month at the moment. I keep seeing.
Right.
I read an interesting article the other day. It was talking about the slow growth of like the 3 million headsets sold. Is actually it benefits smaller independent developers like Electric Hat and everyone else. Did you see any benefit from this, like, versus having to go against like some giant company with PSVR?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. Like the hardest thing right now for creating games, especially on a smaller scale, is exposure. You definitely see that with on the PC side, like they let the floodgates open and anyone can make something for Steam, which is a really cool thing and also a really hard thing, depending on where you're coming at it. So for us, it was a lot easier to as long as we made a great game, people kind of supported it, which is awesome. Yeah. But you also see that with like Firewall is a pretty small-ish team, and they're not competing with Call of Duty, right? So and for us, we're not competing with too many other people. There's not many games like ours. Cool.
Yo, Retro.
That's unique.
Excellent. Ryan, the Ryan VR grid, man. He's been.
Yeah. You wouldn't give numbers for PlayStation. I understand they make you guys sign the papers, but you said you had your base quota for PC was 20,000. You sold 28,000. Did your sales on PlayStation exceed your expectations as far as that goes?
Oh, that's cool.
I think we're kind of on track of it'll be hitting similar targets over time. So yeah, I don't think it's the install base is 3 times as large as what it is on the PC-ish. Depending on what you're counting. So I think over time it'll be similar, but yeah, it's not drastically greater than the PC side.
So you'd say 3 times 28,000 then is what you're saying?
No, no. I think it's actually similar numbers, but
You're being humble.
Yeah.
Well, forget you were number 1 in June on PSVR side. You were the number 1 selling game in June.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You got the shout out from Sony man himself, the big man.
You're being too humble right now, buddy. Hey, appreciate you, but
it's an amazing game, dude. That's why we're here talking about it. So anyway, next we got
JT.
Oh, sorry, one more. Sorry, man.
Very quick. Sorry, I just had a question related to that from one of the guys on my stream, from A Hobbit. He's just asking, would it help and benefit the developers if you could donate through Patreon or Paustamp or something like that? That's something you guys must do? Or?
I mean, maybe, but it's the thing where it's I'm not gonna go and nickel and dime people or kind of beg for money, but there's things if we're gonna do dedicated servers, stuff like that, I was thinking hey, maybe we would actually go that route. But I don't see a whole lot of success on the crowdfunding side or the doing a VR Kickstarter game doesn't really work right now. I haven't seen a whole lot of success stories, and there's one that is going on right now that's ex-God of War developers. They're making kind of a space pirate trainer type of thing, and they're just looking for $30,000, which is not going to get them far. But I hope they actually make their Kickstarter goals and stuff like that. But yeah, I think for us, depending on the way we go, if we're going to go more single player with the next thing, we're not going to look for like crowdsource stuff or like looking for other side of funding. But if we do some more multiplayer things, and we want, if you guys want dedicated servers, like helping us with those costs would be awesome. So that might be a way we go, because as we could see with some recent multiplayer games, having a dedicated servers that are a little bit easier to jump into and play is a huge benefit, especially for VR. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Has anyone else got any live viewer
answer,
questions? So I've got some in here already. Has anyone else got any others on their streams currently?
I got a question. And this is coming from me. One of the things that I definitely noticed jumping into your game when I was doing my review was the draw distance was fantastic. And that always seems to be one of the weak spots in VR is good draw distance without it becoming a blurry, jagged mess. I guess that just kind of leads me into kind of how did you find a workaround for that, and also just kind of challenges with working on the PSVR hardware?
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good question for sure. So for the first thing I wanted to do was the art style kind of started off with thinking about like, okay, we're going to have these big-ass levels, right? We're talking about city blocks, not just like a building. So that's one thing. And then we knew that people were going to be climbing against the surfaces, so a lot of that stuff gets into be like a very jumbled mess, right? So we really wanted to limit like the textures. So there's no, I think there's only like, out of the whole game, there's a couple objects that might have a photo texture. There's no photo textures. There's just a color, like a shine to it, and like some normal maps. That's the way we kept it clean and kind of cohesive. So things that look far away and things look close have the same quality. And I really want to dedicate or dictate to you like what the shape is of the thing. Like that is the most important thing. Like I don't care about trash on the ground. I just care about you seeing the shape clearly. So that's where that came into play. And then as far we push the draw distance as much as we can. There's still times that we clip it, but for the most part. Yeah, it was kind of a nightmare making such big levels, but it's also a lot of fun. So, if I wanted to, it would be great if it was a little bit more realistic, or you could see like people below you, and we've really fleshed that out. But that comes with a lot of like smoke and mirrors, and we only had so much smoke and so many mirrors. But I think it works. It was just about a clean, cohesive style. That was easily readable, and that's kind of like what we went for. And
you just nailed the sensation, that feeling of
absolutely
of flight and climbing, and without making people barf too. So that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
I think.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally.
When I started the game, I think, Lewis, you have the same problem. I'm afraid of heights.
Yes.
Not deathly afraid of heights, but I couldn't even do the levels at first.
That's what I was going to say. Thank you.
Has broken me out of that, and you've helped me get over that a lot. Just fly. I can fly around, drop anywhere in there, man. Well,
I'm still.
You saw how scared I was. I was sitting there with my hands sweating. I couldn't even get up.
I'm still scared to death, man. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, you and Justin, you done the you won the competition, didn't you?
Hey, Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to brag.
You ever played the Everest Experience?
Yeah, man.
Which one?
I was waiting for that. I was waiting. Why did I say it?
No.
Are you doing any more
check that out
competitions?
then.
People have been asking
out.
because people want the shirts.
Yeah, let's
Are
hear
you guys
about
planning
some
on doing
more.
any more?
Yeah. Well, let's not get in the way of the Game Cats. The Game Cats you guys have a competition coming up in
Nice job.
middle of September?
Yeah, Grim Cat. September 16th. There's a big competition going on where they're going to do no placeables and see who can get the best times, and then they're going to.
Fantastic.
That is a great idea.
So check that out.
Yep. Winner gets $20. So definitely join if you want to. It's gonna be fun.
I got one more question over here.
Well,
From User Fantastic Gaming. What were the challenges with trying to get rid of sim sickness in VR?
I think it's like one of them is really recognizing the different kinds of issues that people could have. Because like we just talked about heights, that's one issue. The other is the whole motion. Another is like rotation for people. And then for us, we also have the sensation of falling, which I think is different than nausea and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't like it.
I fall a lot into the top.
Yeah, so we try to minimize, the nausea and stuff like that with how we move you and how you jump and how we accelerate the movement and stuff like that. And then for like the sensation of falling and stuff like that, it's like, well, that's just part of the game. It's finding that balance. For us, we look at it as like a roller coaster. Like it's a little bit thrilling, it's a little bit scary, but it's safe for the most part. So yeah, it's kind of all those balances, and then kind of play testing it. We did a lot of play testing, so we did a lot of events around Austin. We probably did like 30 events or something like that, with doing South by, doing Rooster Teeth, doing other VR meetups, and then just testing it and just seeing how everyone reacts and gets into it.
So I've got a question from a viewer, from Jimif Jamif.
Yeah, what's up, Jimif?
Man, he can't get in. The game won't update for him.
Well, tell him
I had issues too.
It's awesome.
I had issues.
Yeah, man. He just said, what's it like to be on the show in a level built around your game?
It's really stellar. No, it was really, really cool to jump in here yesterday and like see what you guys did, and like it's like I knew this was going to be like a VR chat show, but like we have a little gameplay to jump around and get to here, and I thought that was
yeah, man, the level's fantastic.
Super cool. Yeah, this is like this is why VR is different and like fun and new. Like I've never heard of something like this, and I think it's cool that you guys are putting it together.
Wicked,
really
it's all down.
Just jump around right now and go play.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm winking at you right now, but you can't see it, so sorry.
So I've got a developer jumping on the chat, Strange Games.
Nice.
They do Honor and Duty.
So Reggie, is that Reggie? Is that Reggie?
Yeah, man. Reggie.
Reggie.
What was your experience like with Sony's VR consultant?
Oh man, I wish Dan was here. Actually, let me see if he's here. Okay.
Yeah, just pass the buck.
Dan Dunham was supposed to be here as well, but
totally gaggle.
He's coming. He's online now.
But they're finding ways to get around that.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go back to the questions.
I think he joined. I think he's
Cerebral Frost. Cerebral Frost.
Hey, you gotta climb.
You gotta climb or fly.
Or you can fly.
Or you can fly, Lewis. Yeah, that's right.
So let's hold that question for sure.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah. Oh man. So that's Richard Matey talking now, and the guy coming up is Dan Dunham, and they made the game to the top. The questions, everyone asking questions on the stream. Earlier in the week, I put out a video and just said, look, if you want to ask a question, just write it down. So I've actually got the questions that people have put in before, so I can't really keep the guys here asking everyone's questions because it's people who took the time out to actually put in their questions. So, but next time that we'll do that. We're going to do a viewer question thing next time, obviously.
Yeah, please send them
that'd be great.
Send them to anybody.
Send them in, man.
Look at Preach. Look at Preach. He's waiting. He's waiting for them to come across so he can drop it on their heads.
No
look,
worries. How do you know?
I can see exactly what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I've been a kid too before, bro.
You want one?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Wait till they're waiting till they come across so they can just drop. It's like water bombs. It's like water bombs.
Oh yes!
They're bombing. Yeah, they're bombing. It's hilarious. I saw Preach. I knew what he was doing. I was like, look at this guy. There we are.
Oh no, I fell.
That was hilarious.
That was a perfect shot.
Thanks.
That was great. That was great. Hey, Cerebral Frost, nice to meet you, bro.
You're chatting with the developers of To the Top.
Good to meet you guys. What's up? Nice room, guys.
How you doing, Cerebral Frost?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice
to see you again.
Before, man.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Cool, man.
There we go.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, sir.
Have a root beer. Have a root beer. Shug's giving you a root beer.
Is there any donuts left for him? Give him a donut.
Richard, come down, man. We're not in Mary Poppins.
Okay, there you go.
You got a floor donut.
Where is he?
So Dan, we have a question for you.
What's up?
Excuse me.
Is it a hard question? Because I can't answer hard questions.
Oh God.
It's a question you're not going to want to answer.
The question was from Strange Game Studios, the guys who develop Honor and Duty. They wanted to know, what was your experience with the Sony VR Consultant?
Ooh.
Actually, the Sony VR Consultant stuff was awesome. Mostly just because it helped us with like QA stuff. Without having to actually submit to QA. So it made it. Yeah, it actually helped a lot.
It's good to hear.
Excellent stuff. Right, next question from Regular Joe. How long does it take on average to complete one map?
Those are the developers from To the Top.
It totally depends on the map and how good you are. There's some folks that can just fly through the maps and like.
I think he means you
talking about creating it.
Oh, making the map. Oh, yeah, that's a Richard question.
46 seconds.
That's a Richard question. I like this guy.
Over to you, Richard.
So yeah, it took me about a week to get like an idea down and it's playable, and then that's like a bulk of the work, and then play testing it with different people, and then refining it over time. So it really was like about 2 weeks, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe about 2 weeks. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, this is awesome. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna be right back because I actually have some raspberry beer that I'm gonna go get. So I'll be right back.
That is so cool. This is Sarsaparilla, guys. This is Sarsaparilla. Just want to let you know.
I got a question from Mitch Hollow. He says,
Mitch Hollow.
Trying to address
that's Seraphim's friend.
Female player harassment. Have you ever given that any thought, or?
Well, I think we actually haven't. We haven't had many females. That's one thing. But for the most part, I think I designed the game so there's no friction in the game. So when you jump in and you race against each other, there's nothing that's like
it's empty.
Like competitive. You're not shooting anyone in the head, right? So we wanted to test out to see like, hey, is this if this is all positive, and you're just helping placeables, how are people going to react? And it was really good. Like, you guys are all cool. Like, we haven't had any issues of moderating at all, which is fantastic.
I'll say the only skin grabbing you do is high fives in that game. That's as far as it goes.
I will, Dylan.
It's all positive.
Yeah, Mitch Hollow, I know him through Seraphim.
And you get points for high fiving too. You were
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Slugging
a beer, man.
Rec room.
Yeah, I think
wink, wink.
The more competitive and the more friction you have in the game, the more back and forth you're gonna have, and that's just that's the nature of it. I really feel
that's why we don't have chat during Firewall with the other team.
Like Firewall, it's super fun, but I get pissed off and I say and I curse and
Yeah. I don't want to talk to the other team. I don't want to talk to the other team afterwards. I'm gonna say some shit.
Well, that's why you can't talk to them, right? Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your answer.
So before you made To the Top, did you have any other ideas on the board? Was there anything else that you thought, if this doesn't work, or what made you fully invest in like a parkour game of that type, or was it just the one thing you both wanted to do?
Before To the Top, there was a few different experiments that I built. Yeah. Almost all of them.
Or will it lead on to something else?
I mean, not a lot of them were really games. They were just kind of experiments, learning how to sort of make stuff in VR. But I was always trying to make stuff with movement in it. And that that's not the most popular move in some circles. But yeah, like I built one demo where I was trying to do a jetpack thing. Like you had miniature planets, and you had like this miniature planet, and you were like jetpack around this mini planet, trying to solve puzzles and stuff, and that was terrible. And then,
Iron Man flight in that game.
That was different. No, the Iron Man thing was not quite, because the jetpack was built with the Vive, right? And so it was room scale. And so what you do is the jetpack was actually on one side of your room, like your physical room, and it was always in that same spot. And then you had the rest of your room to like walk around and like go do stuff with puzzly stuff. And then you'd walk back over to your jetpack like this, and then get in it, and then fly away. And so basically you were flying your room around this miniature planet and like trying to do stuff.
Really cool.
And so I thought
incredibly.
I thought it was clever, but it really wasn't clever. It was not that. It was very arduous to like have to, I want to get in my jetpack. I got to walk over here to get in the right thing. And of course the controls were all physical, so you had to grab, the left and right sticks with your controllers and then move them around to fly. And it was
so to make a test demo for yourself, how much time does that take?
Not long, especially these days. Like, maybe even 10 years ago, it was difficult to get hold of some off-the-shelf tech to be able to build anything, and that took a long time just to build a tech stack. And now it's like you can just get something off the shelf, either Unreal or Unity, and start prototyping and stuff. And actually, even this game, even the guys, that did Rec Room, like the tools that they built for this let you kind of play around with things in VR.
Well, look at this.
Super cool.
Look at this. This is what Jason and Jimmy have made. And,
right. Well, I mean, besides just doing environments, but also like they have mechanics and things that you can do, and they have little, now they have the little, I forget what they call them, but you can hook up little logic gates and things like that, and have like game logic in your rooms and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, man. We got enough time for the last 2 questions, and then we got to continue on.
Yeah, good. Well, has anyone else got any other questions?
We don't want to make people sit here for 2 hours watching us again.
No, definitely not. We're gonna
were you guys here for 2 hours? Oh, my God.
Okay. No, last time.
Anyone else got any questions in the chat?
To take a chance to let you guys know that he absolutely loves your game, and he plays it every single day.
Heck yeah.
So, wait, is he like at the top of the leaderboards now? Like
I don't know. He's not saying. Maybe he still sucks. Maybe he still sucks, but he loves it.
That's cool too.
Hey, it's okay because I still suck and I love it too, so that's fine.
You know what name you'll see on that leaderboard?
Oh, Cannon? Yeah. God, Cannon.
Cannon's on a lot of leaderboards. I ain't going to talk to Cannon.
Yeah. Trophy hunter. PlayStation, who can't be here, unfortunately, at the moment. He has asked if Panic Button plan to port more games to PSVR, because they've done a really good port with some Switch games.
So I'm not under the authority to answer that question. We do. I mean, Panic Button does have lots of stuff that we're working on. I don't know if you guys know or like look at the other list of games that we're working on, but there's a lot of non-VR games in there as well. So, yeah, I mean, that would be a question for Adam, the director of the Panic Button. But yeah.
Excellent. And there's just one more that I need to fit in.
To get that answer.
What comes first when you play the game? Is it the story or the concept?
Well, with this one, it was definitely just the concept, the movement and stuff like that. Like the story was. I mean, I think Richard would agree. The story is pretty much an afterthought, really, because it was way more important to get it's way more important to get the mechanics and everything working for this game. But that's not true for every game, right? Like, there's some really cool story-based games out there, too, where the story, Detroit, for example, I mean, the mechanics in Detroit are amazing, but the story is really the focus.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, guys, it's time to talk about Firewall.
We have 2 more questions for the viewers. We have Jimith and we have.
Thanks, Tom.
We have one more.
Yeah, I was looking at Jimith, man.
Hey guys,
I'm sorry, I'm lagging out.
The light came out of the move controller.
And Arch King Wizard. There was another one from Arch King Wizard.
All right, so we've got one from Arch King Wizard. It says, Jason, are there any plans for DLC or maps?
It's the move controller.
There are plans in the works for future stuff. We are not sure quite what that's going to take the shape of. We don't know if that's going to take the shape of
Sorry about that.
New game or DLC or something like that. But yeah, we're definitely working on stuff.
Nice.
But at the moment, it's just me and Richard right now because we're pretty thin, pretty bare bones. So yeah.
Is there any plans to expand yourselves as Electric Hat?
I mean, that's always the goal, right? Like, is to get this out, get the IP out, get some recognition, and then start making bigger and bigger games. That's always kind of the idea.
Woo! Yeah, man. And one more from Jimmy, who's the guy who created this. He said, I had a basic question. What made them decide to make a game that was essentially a VR parkour game?
Because there wasn't one. I mean, part of it was part of it was when we originally did the prototype, which was a very short session. I think that was less than a week, right, Richard? Like it only took a week.
It was like a weekend.
So. Yeah, like a weekend. Okay. Like we are, but after that, at that point, we already knew, like, okay, we have to make a game using this because it works really well. So I think it was more that than a conscious decision of like, oh well, let's just let's plan this out, and we're gonna plan all these things first. No, it was more like, oh, we discovered this mechanic, or we felt like we discovered. I'm sure we weren't the first ones to do this exact same mechanic, but and we're like, well, this is a lot of fun, and this has a lot of implications on what can be done with the game. We're talking about like what other games might be in the works or whatever, but there's a lot of things that you can do with this game. Including, right now the game doesn't have shooting and there's really no enemies or anything like that. But you could see that adding those things in wouldn't make the game worse. Let's just put it that way. Like, we did do a demo. We did do an experiment where we made a multiplayer multiplayer shooter version of the game where your hands switch into guns. So you can like leap and change your hands into guns, and you can shoot at each other. It was just a 1v1 little experiment that we did, and that was so much fun. So it's like, yeah, we definitely want to have something like that in the future. So yeah, there's definitely lots that we're thinking about.
Yeah, but I think what he's talking about, where we started from, like, we started doing it on the weekend, and we're like, okay, let's do like a realistic climbing game, and that would work. You know, we could make it look all nice and stuff like that. Basically, it was like the climb before we had any idea what the climb was for the Oculus. But then we started doing jumping, and then we're like, oh shit, let's just give the player like superpowers and have fun with it, because we don't really see a whole point in making simulations in VR. That's not really fun for us. We want to make fun games. So that's like, kind of where it came from. And we started bringing the Super Mario ideas for levels and the Mirror's Edge.
Oh, mate, that stood out a mile to me. That stood out in canon. The level canon, I was like, this reminds me of Super Mario so much. And Sonic.
Totally.
A little bit in places.
I think that might be somebody else's favorite level, too.
Who?
Cannon.
Oh, God, Cannon.
That is far from my favorite.
Was your hand on the couch?
No. What are you talking about?
Oh, dude, who's that? I have no idea. Good, Steve. So, thank you very much for talking about To The Top today and the ideas, the inspirations behind it. Thank you both. So, I think we need to start talking about Firewall. Woo! Pretty much, I think everyone would have been playing it tonight, mostly. Who done the last?
What's Firewall? What's Firewall?
Yeah.
Get out!
So, Ryan, you're the last person I know to actually play it today before you come on here.
No, I played it 2 hours before. Oh, no, you talking about Firewall?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I played it 2 hours before coming on here.
Oh, was it you? I thought Ryan done it.
No,
as
Ryan
well.
was playing
Okay,
Viking.
cool.
Ryan was playing Viking Kings.
Oh,
You know what's funny? I got it
right, Lewis.
You know what's funny though, Gamertag.
Viking Days.
I was
what the fuck
watching
ever?
your stream all day today at work. The stream that you did, I think it was last night, and so I had that playing all day today while I was working on other games.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Was
No, I did a.
Call Richard off of it just to come here today.
Yeah, no, yeah, I had a.
Just to come here.
I had a good 7 hours so far today.
Oh my god.
No, yes. No, I had a.
I got my first knife kill on God Cannon. That's right.
I know, it really is.
Don't tell anybody that.
So, Ryan, Ryan, talk to me about it.
We'll let Lewis go first here.
Go on, Lewis, go for it.
No, it's fine. Okay, thank you. No, I'm stuck. No, I had a 2 hour stream obviously before coming on here with some more Firewall, and it's probably one of the best
What
streams
level
I've
are
had.
you, dude?
10 right now, actually. I it was probably one of the best streams I've had in a while. Like it was so fun. I literally everyone I played with recognized me. It was so much fun. Like we've all talked about how awesome it is. It's what we've all been waiting for. It's the VR shooter. But it's like not only is it reaching, obviously, because, we've been waiting for it. We're already PSVR owners, but it's reaching people outside the VR community. That's what Firewall is doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to point your attention to a channel that I saw. I don't think he's sponsored, by the way. Inside joke. He does.
We're not mentioning his name.
He does. Well, this guy's channel's name is CNS _ Gray, GREAY. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were talking about someone else.
No, this guy's name CNS _ Gray, and he does mostly Call of Duty, Fortnite, big shooters, 2D stuff, and he does very little PSVR stuff. He has a PSVR. He's done a couple videos here and there. But this game kind of brought him out of the woodworks to get into a shooter, and he was hyped for it before. Now he's now that he's played the game, it's everything that again he's dreamed of, being able to be inside the shooters that he's been playing for so long.
That's the secret of PSVR.
And that's the secret.
You gotta get in it. It's
the most fantastic thing I could dream for since I got into the VR. I wanted a game.
You're a Siege fan.
Well, any kind of first-person shooter fan in general. I've been waiting for a game like this forever, especially in VR. It's just so good. It works so well. The aim controller is solid. The gameplay while you're playing the game is solid. I just can't talk enough. How good it is. There's so many things you could say about it. Obviously, there's the little issues with the servers and stuff like that, but hopefully they'll get over that. Man. Other than that, it is a legit first-person shooter in VR.
Everyone
with all
here has played it, though, haven't they?
Right.
Everyone has played it.
Yeah, with all the unlocks and the stuff that you can put on your guns, skins, customizations. It is a first-person shooter all the way. We don't need campaign for things like that. Rainbow Six doesn't have a campaign, okay? It's just multiplayer and training missions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Actually. It's beautiful. I can't get enough of Firewall Zero. I'm going to be playing more tonight after this, guys. I hope you will, too.
We're all going to go in together, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, that'll be amazing. We got a nice private party after this. That'd be great.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you know what's nice as well? Like, all the trailers, all the hype before it, I think it's completely been justified.
It totally deserved.
You know? Absolutely. Yeah. It's an amazing...
Yes, Scottish, I remember.
Transparency.
What's up, dude?
They had trailers, they had gameplay, they had information.
Stop.
They really did a lot. Which
They did a lot of the expos. They're letting people try it, so they're not afraid of the game.
Right.
You know, it's really good to see that.
It's been a couple of
I've barely slept thanks to that. I know you're in the same boat as me. Probably everybody else here too as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out the damn game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's one of those games I think all of us knew that you had to put on your channels because you had to get people to watch it.
Totally my fault.
They had to see it.
And kick him.
Kick him.
Nice, dude. Kick him. So next, we're going to talk about Bow to Blood by Tribe Toy. Who's played Bow to Blood here?
Let Shug talk.
Not.
Yes, Bow to Blood.
Go for it, Shug. And I know you're going to be a good man for it. Go for it.
Yeah, Bow to Blood, I think was. I mean, it's going to get overshadowed by Firewall. That's just unavoidable. But I hope it's one of those games that people pay attention to.
It'll catch on
when they're looking. Yeah, I think it's one of those games that's going to have some life with it. I think it's it's good counter programming too, because for people who want like a single player game right now, and they want to break from the multiplayer stuff, it's deep. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand.
Poor guy.
Sorry,
there was some entertaining.
I have no idea who that was.
I'm sorry, Shug.
I don't know who that was. That was weird.
Forget about it.
Right here until you guys got him.
We got a security breach, dude. We got a security breach.
He tried to throw a shit here.
It was an assassination. It was an assassination attempt.
Here we go.
That is here.
Jason's the bouncer. So so Bow to Blood I thought was absolutely fantastic. Did you play it with the moves and the DualShock? What did you prefer?
I did. I actually preferred the moves. I know a lot of people didn't, but I felt that the game, like the ship itself, moves very slowly. Like it's got these big turns.
Yes.
So I didn't feel like the analog sticks were really like needed. So it's a little more complex, but a little more button pushes, but like being able to aim all your guns with your move controller and to be able to point and click at your guys and command them quickly, just worked really well. But the game was so deep, like managing all your resources and telling your guys what to do, and then when you get into the friends and foes system and realizing that like that actually makes a difference, because I played like a total asshole for the first round. And I got to the third stage, and I was in the bottom of it, and everybody voted me out because I was a total dick to everyone.
Did you play? So you played it how many times? I'm on my second playthrough, and I realised how different it was.
I'm on my third season of it, but I still haven't gotten to the finals. Like the game's got legs, and the other thing I really liked about it was, for those of you guys who don't know, the art director worked on the Telltale Borderlands series, and if you look at that game, you can totally see the Borderlands in it.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing, dude.
Whoops. There we go.
Oh, he's only trying.
It actually.
Gamer tag.
But it makes the voice lower, so it's actually.
Oh, it does. Oh, it's not that good, huh?
No. Oh well.
See.
Anyway.
Hit the triangle. Hit the triangle.
But anyone else want to talk about? Everyone happy with that Bow to Blood?
Bow to Blood, like Shug said, it's so much fun. It's so
I
much
also
more
played,
addicting
yes.
to realize. And like you just keep playing and playing and playing, and it just engrosses you. And then, like I said, the light social aspects, pretty much every part of that game just gets you deeper and deeper and deeper. The levels constantly mix up the action, whether you're racing or having to destroy a certain target or just chasing items. There's so much content value in that game. It's It's a great single player experience for a great price.
And one more thing I want to add.
You played it as
Preach,
well.
sorry. Preach one more thing before, and then I'm done. I have never played a game on the PSVR that needed a multiplayer mode more than this game, though.
I agree.
Being able to, with all the depth and managing your resources, it'd be so much fun with the scale, and all the elevation changes, and even if it was just like, even if I could just put Ryan on my bridge and be like, you're the gunner, even that I would settle for.
Wash my shoes, make my dinner.
Yeah, I played it for like an hour.
You done a review, dude, didn't you?
I haven't reviewed it yet, but I did quite a long stream on it, and I really enjoyed it.
Man. Did you enjoy it?
I totally enjoyed it. I did have a few guys. Shut up!
Sorry.
Preacher's one time to talk, and his dog kicks off.
Doesn't like my voice.
Who's a good dog?
Yeah, I had a few guys on my stream, though. I don't know if any of you guys did, but I had a few guys on my stream. Well, I don't mean just general. I was like, they were talking and they were saying, like, I'm not interested in it. Even though they were watching it and I was telling them how great and fun it was, they were like, fuck this game, not for me, not spending money on it. I was like, why?
Too bad.
It's really,
so what
really
about,
good.
The game
what about,
is so unique.
Yeah, man.
There's
brilliant.
no other game like it. The only thing close is Star Trek, and that's what PS.
Not even not the same thing.
You have to play to understand.
I couldn't believe it.
You gotta play to believe it.
It is.
But
you gotta feel it.
Watching YouTube stuff's not the same, though, is it? Even watching videos, we try our best, but we can never fully sell the
Some
this one you have to be
better
in
than
it.
others.
So now, were the guys that were watching your stream and saying that, though, were they people that already have VR, or were they people that don't have VR yet?
Some of them are definitely people that have VR, because I know they've got other games.
So Firewall has been the one game I noticed more than any that are people who are asking, should I get a PSVR for this game?
Right.
Yes.
And some of them were actually saying, I've just ordered it now.
Yes.
Yeah, gamertag.
Like that.
I've actually had people pop in the chat on my review and said specifically one guy today was like, I just bought the whole bundle just for this game.
I played with
So I do have a problem with that. There's a small problem, and that is the aim controller. So if Firewall works awesome with the aim controller. It works great with the aim controller. But have you guys played it with the DualShock 4?
Yeah.
Jason has.
Ryan did.
Before you say whether or not you liked it, I'm going to say I did not like it, and the reason why was because the aiming on the control, you have to point your hands down to aim straight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
carpal tunnel all the way,
And that
man.
does two things. One, it's uncomfortable to sort of, so like if you want to aim down sights, you have to point forward with the controller, right? But the other thing is that the light on the controller is then pointed down. And my camera is up high, and so it loses tracking a lot more with the. I wish that they would tilt it back just a little bit.
Tilt it up when you're in there and reset your thing. It'll reset it to that point.
It does? It does?
Oh,
shit.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to try that. So wait. How do you do it? So you tilt it up. Tilt it up.
Hold it, the area that you want to hold it, then hit your options button to reset it,
Okay.
and it will set right to that. And
Oh,
you'll be able to just
dude,
go
I did not
down.
know that. Okay, that's a
You
huge,
know,
that needs to go out. Like, everybody needs to know that tip
why
to
you
play with
wanted to
DualShock
check
4.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
One more feature
I'm sorry.
that I wanted to mention was one more feature. What about the 50-player interaction with the app? Did you have people on your
No,
stream?
see, I didn't have the app or anything like that, and I played for an hour, and I don't know, I just didn't find it as enjoyable as others. I'm sorry. That's all I wanted to say.
No, yeah, you weren't the only one though, Lewis. I remember. Who else?
Yeah.
Someone else said they
Seraphim.
Seraphim didn't particularly get on with it.
Seraphim
either.
hated it. God.
Yeah,
He really did.
I like that game at all.
I did not hate it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't. I guess Firewall, man. It's fucking Firewall. I'm sorry. Fuck.
That's our first swear, Lewis. This was PG until you did that.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying really hard not to swear.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. I will shut that. I will shut up.
Guys.
Shut the fuck up,
with
Lewis.
that app, you're sitting there the majority of the time, and it just says, like, waiting for interaction. So, I mean, I thought it was kind of cool, but the majority of the time you're sitting there with that phone app, you're basically just waiting for the round to end or something like that.
Was you almost streamed Canon with the developer and all that, like doing it?
I was
people.
on everybody's stream, hanging out, trying the phone app, trying to mess with them, trying to help them in any way I could. And yeah, majority of the time you're just sitting there and it says like waiting for interaction. So it's not like a app that keeps you engaged, really.
My other problem with that,
Dave said the same thing.
felt like
You've
an
got a
afterthought.
phone in your hand, and usually I'm watching a stream on my phone, so now I've got to swap over to the app and that's kind of my own problem.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's just the way I watch streams typically. So, like, now I'm
That's
going
the way
back
you
and
roll.
forth, and exactly. So it could be a little difficult trying to get that out of the way, too.
You need the
Right,
code.
who's played Torn?
No.
I have, obviously. But who else?
Not me. Yeah, I haven't.
Anyone done a full playthrough of Torn? Anyone played a lot of Torn?
I played a lot of Torn, yeah.
Yeah, man. What do you think? I think, personally, it's an amazing game. And I can't wait to finish it. But you tell me what you think of it, man.
I think it has. I think it's an amazing game underneath its PSVR flaws. I've heard.
Oh yeah, I know you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about the turning once you've got the.
There's a lot of things I'm going to talk about. I mean, I've heard that I heard on PC VR. On PC VR, the reviewers are saying that it's one of the best looking games on PC VR. On PlayStation VR, it's a jagged mess. Like, it needs pro support, even though the Sony site says it's pro enhanced. I don't believe it because it's pretty bad. But the more you're in the game, the more you kind of get caught up in the magic and stuff because it's a gorgeous game underneath all of its jagged edges. But I think the developer, and this is kind of funny having the Electric Hat guys games in here because they did so many things right. This developer did so many things wrong in the control areas. It's like it feels like a VR game from 2 years ago. It's like click turning only, no reverse button. So like if you're at a wall, you gotta click turn around, and you gotta walk back around, and then you gotta walk back up to the door. And it's just and really slow walking speeds. Like Robinson the Journey looks fast, and so it's like it has these like fundamental flaws, but the game itself sounds amazing. The music is unbelievable.
Yeah, the music is incredible.
The
soundtrack's amazing.
The art direction, I mean, even the puzzles themselves, the tracking, the way the move works with the gravity gun, everything about the game is just so brilliant. I mean, you can tell it's written by the writer of BioShock. It's got it has this depth to the storyline. But man, it's got some flaws. And the game crashed on me halfway through, and then it put me on the top of a roof, and I'm glitched on the top of this.
See, that's
mansion.
so weird. Like when I played it, I had some jaggies. But I always find in PSVR there seems to be a balance. If you have jaggies, then you get a bit more increased sharpness. If you get rid of those jaggies, like for example Firewall with the anti-aliasing, it's so smooth that you've actually got a little bit of a blur. So I mean, there's zero jaggies in Firewall. I don't think I've seen a game with.
If anybody followed the patches for Ultra Wings, they show you exactly how that happened.
Oh yeah,
They started off jaggy, then they got sharp, then they went jaggy, then they went blurry, and then they brought it back to when it was sharp again.
They've really explored pro features to make the game. But yeah, for me, Torn, like I thought it was beautiful, and the only issue I found, you're right, was quick turning and the fact that when you had the wand. The same to turn left with you holding the move button, but you're trying to roll your thumb onto square to turn. But otherwise, from that dude, I absolutely loved Torn. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was really good.
So one of the just you were talking about turning, and one of the issues we had with To the Top was I had put the turning buttons. I think it was on the top at first. The top two buttons.
I remember.
And I just got. I didn't even think about it.
I didn't like that. Right? I didn't like that.
I got so used to never using it because I never used it. I always used the grab turn, and I completely forgot about the top two turn buttons. And so when it launched, and then I saw people going. I saw a couple of comments at first, right? Like, oh, I wish it was more like how Skyrim is, because Skyrim kind of set the standard, right? And then and I was just like, let's just wait and see what happens here. and then the feedback, I was just like, nope, we got to fix this. And then we got the opportunity to do the patch, and I was just like,
quick as well. Yeah.
Well, that was the other thing. Like when the opportunity came up to do the patch, I was like, I'm just gonna slip this in here.
When you say the opportunity, what does that mean? What do you mean by the opportunity?
So there's
a time scale?
No, it's not so much that. It's just that there's like, when you're working as a developer, and then you're working with a publisher, and then you're also working with Sony, like. There's not always the opportunity to just patch, like on PC, I can just make changes and then just upload it and then it's out there, right? On Sony, you make changes and it goes through their FQA, and then it has to be approved, which is all great stuff because it's curated like it should be.
We're going all about for this.
But there's like, there's interactions between the developer and the publisher and all this stuff that needs to happen. And the publisher has to like, oh yeah, we want to go ahead and spend the time and resources to go ahead and do that.
We already did the
top
talk.
Basically, that's what happened. Oh, sorry. Games. Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's cool, man. So the next game to talk about is Catch and Release.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, man, what a game. So,
psyched on fishing.
Who has... John Cannon, you play Catch and Release?
Yeah, man. I actually just tried it earlier. Absolutely loved it, man. As someone who grew up like fishing and knows a lot about fishing in general, it was definitely nice to have that finally in VR. And just to be able to go out there, they put you out in this giant lake, and you just relax and you just fish, and you got your radio, you got your bait. I was pouring beer on fish and like throwing them back. I mean, there's a lot of nice surprises too. There's some animals that pop out of the woods and stuff, and it's a really relaxing, great experience, and it's
so good.
On
sale, definitely.
I loved it.
I like to see the sequel, Catch and Cook. No? Okay.
Nice, man. So we can all agree that Catch and Release is like the best fishing game on PSVR.
It's not even the best fishing. It's one of the best simulation
games.
Yes,
it's a simulation.
Yeah.
That's what impressed me the most. The developers of that, like I was messing about. I was messing about doing everything, and the developers.
They thought of everything.
At me at every turn. They thought of everything.
Yeah, they thought of everything.
Water and I got fined for littering.
Yeah, I told GT, I was like, don't throw it in the water. You're not gonna. I was like, throw it in the thing. Gotta recycle, bro.
Oh, man.
But no, seriously though, it's like they thought of everything. The way the physics work, the pole, the when you bring the bobber back in, it bounces across the water. You could skip rocks. Man, fuck that.
The water is amazing.
Game is amazing.
The water is some of the most beautiful water I've seen in VR. It has so much depth to it. It's crazy.
Especially when you go shallow and you can just sit there and you start watching for the fish. And I'm like, okay, I'm casting right there. That's where they are. I can see them.
It's crazy.
And I could see a big one was circling my hook, and I was like, yes. And then this little shit came in and grabbed my hook. I was like, dude, he was right there.
I saw a deer.
You need better bait, man. You need better bait.
I saw a deer. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. I was like, oh my god, it's a deer. I saw a deer.
I saw a moose, man. I saw a moose.
Saw the moose? I saw the deer. The deer was a beautiful little deer. It was just a beautiful little deer. I almost cried. I almost cried. Jimmy, what's up?
You have no idea how long I have to get this game downloaded again.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
I just want to say thank you for helping you and Jason making this level, man. Everyone loves that, guys.
Yeah, it's an amazing level
for us to do this.
I want a group photo on the stage. Now. No, I'm just kidding. Whenever, bro. I'm just kidding.
Do you know what, though? Jim, if turning up right now is the best time.
We'll save you in. We'll immortalize you in here forever.
Yeah, man. Jim, I need to talk about Track Lab, dude, and I know you are the man to talk about it. I've been watching you, dude.
It was weird because everyone tried it, and everyone jumped for Electronauts, which is
I didn't
easy pick up and play sort of game. You'll try Electronauts. You'll enjoy it because you become a DJ within 5 seconds.
Yeah, I love Electronauts. I didn't buy Track
Lab. You're actually building the track up completely from a sample. And going through how you would normally in a normal DAW software, but it's kind of changed it. It's flipped on its side. You've got like a train track to kind of match the loop in, and then you build loops up, and you can do like the DJ mixing as well. But last night I've done a stream of it and got to the grips of it, and I even worked out how to do it on a normal track. But it's amazing. It's great. It's fun.
I watched Jimmy, and honestly, I haven't seen a stream where I thought, do you know what, that looks absolutely fantastic. I haven't seen all the streams, admittedly. Basically, when I saw the trailer, and I think I saw you doing it, Jimmy, if you had the music going from left to right at one stage.
I watched Ryan's review. I watched your review, Ryan.
That's the trailer I saw.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, my little girl's going to love this. She's going to be able to put drums here, guitar here, keyboard here. She's going to find it really easy. But then I saw either Ryan's or Dave's stations, and it looked crazy. There was bits going every, and I thought, she's never going to do that. She's never going to be able to manage that.
Go back to lecture now.
Yeah, I watched you. You done the Iron Man soundtrack, didn't you?
Wow, that's awesome.
Black Sabbath.
I am Iron Man. That's awesome.
You can do it. It's just that you have to think about it outside the box a bit, because you're basically starting every pulse fires from a cannon, and then that starts from there, and basically that's how your normal DAW would work. Start off, you hit start, and then everything runs along the bar.
Right.
You just kind of draw it in that way. But it's easy me going, oh yeah, it's just this and that. But if people are not musically inclined, then you're just going to be like, oh, what is he actually doing?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
That's the thing. So,
but that's where TrackLab comes. It's Electronauts is the balance for letting beginners sort of jump in and get used to sort of grooving with music.
Oh, my daughter who's 9 has got Electronauts and she loved it. She's amazed by it, and the selfie cam.
Yeah.
The selfie cam.
Everyone I show.
She's been crazy with the selfie cam. Go on, Shug. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, TrackLab is what people think they wanted. Electronauts is what they actually wanted, and I think people are figuring that out. I think TrackLab is a very, very well-made game. I think it looks really nice. I think it's got a lot of functionality, and I fucking hate it. I bought the game. I actually paid for the game. I was going to do a review on the game. I did like a 90-minute stream, and I was like, I don't even want to look at this again. My problem with the game is I don't know if anyone's seen the footage of Dreams and the way that they're going to create audio. And I think, but I think it's a perfect balance of for people who don't like know what an E sharp sounds like, to be able to like make music, and it's also more traditional, like the way it runs along a timeline instead of like everything in loops. To me, the entire TrackLab game felt like a puzzle game. I know it had puzzles in it, but the whole thing felt like a puzzle game.
It looked like a puzzle game. It looked like a puzzle game.
It's a challenge. I give you that. But I mean, I worked with some Aphex Twin in it, so if I can work at Aphex Twin in it and other.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know you watch Jimmy do it. I actually thought I could have a go at that.
Yeah.
But before that, because I don't know the way he made it sound. He was even making the notes verbally and going, "Oh no, that's it." And then applying that note. It's really good.
I don't know if you guys remember.
You will love it.
I don't know if you guys remember, but in the track when I was describing what TrackLab's like, 90% of the people will play it for 2 hours and go, fuck this game. Sorry, censors, PG, but screw this game.
No, we've had loads already. Shot literally blew the can.
I thought I did.
Lewis did.
I thought I did.
Lewis started it.
I'm sorry, Firewall's amazing.
Then you'll have 10% like Jimmy that do something really awesome and do like Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, and then people, the rest of the 90% will watch that and go, oh, maybe we should jump back into this game again, and then they'll just get fed up and leave it. So
anyone I put into Electronauts is like, this is amazing. Like, they didn't even know nothing about music. They started hitting things around, and there was like, it was over. They started mixing things, and it sounded good to them. They were dancing. It's so innovative. I love it.
And have it on the sound system.
Yes.
It's going to be incredible.
Let me go ahead and put my 2 cents in on TrackLab's Electronauts.
Servios!
There's somebody else over there?
Yeah, I see somebody.
That's me. I'm trying to fix the scene without being seen, but obviously I'm doing.
He's blended in. I thought it was a pretty neat game. I like the puzzle aspect of it. But when it comes to creating music, you really do the time that it takes to create stuff. And like Shug was saying, you have to make it out of like a grid, like a box. If you've ever used Fruity Loops or something, it goes more in like a wave pattern. And, you know, like Jimmy, I play music too, but it's not, it's like completely different. It's essentially like trying to create it from making like a brick breaker puzzle. And so it's a little convoluted and complicated, but you can still, for some people that especially you like to make like abstract stuff, like it works. It does.
Well, it's
also more than Electronauts, though.
But it's not fun.
More than
It doesn't feel fun.
No, I didn't think it was. I thought the puzzle stuff, the single player puzzle stuff, was pretty fun. To create music, maybe it's just a personal thing, but to have that loop. And to have that loop keep going and going and going, it was like I felt like I was going crazy. Like
I said,
hey, Polish ball.
A circuit. You're trying to complete a circuit, and it's more and more complicated, and just keeps building and building, and it's like I said, unless you're musically inclined, like Jimith over here, it's Polish ball. It's overwhelming. It's too much, and you just like preachers walk away.
It's musical programming. So I'm a programmer. I'm a web developer as well. And that tied with the challenge of, I'm going to make a song, and knowing what tools to use once you've unlocked them from the single player. I quite like the challenge of that. But if you're in for the quick fix and get left.
Yeah, exactly, man. The Track Labs is what it says it is.
I just want to go back to
I think.
MTV
I just thought the trailer wasn't.
Oh, man. Yeah, MTV Music Generator 2
on PlayStation.
Let's do that.
Yes, sir. I'm just
guys.
for now.
Something that Preach said, and Preach, I don't know if you even said this before, but something he said in chat that was one of the most brilliant things I've ever heard said about Electronauts was if it was a drawing program or a painting program, every brush stroke would be the Mona Lisa. That's how Electronauts makes you feel.
Yeah, that's true though. That's true. Anybody, it's like
he's a drummer and it's percussion. Oh, it's percussion.
Yeah.
I've watched Bang Thing. I've watched them.
it's such a good game. It's so fun to use. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, guys. So, well, I think that brings us to a close for the second PSVR chat show. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah.
I mean,
High fives. High fives.
Hold on one sec. We're going to make this
high fives. Ryan, high fives.
One minute. Guys. Stop.
Hold on.
Stop!
Sorry.
Sorry. Just FYI, this room is going to be open for anybody after we do this. We're going to open this up to the public so you can come in here, check it out, hang out with your friends, have some chats. Check it out.
Nice.
And also, one more thing, have we got 2 keys to give away for To The Top?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, we'll do.
What?
We still have keys. We have some keys. So yeah.
I don't have any keys.
Check in the pocket.
But I
can.
can.
Keys.
I have
You got the keys?
So
Okay. All right.
yeah, so we got 2 PSVR keys and then 2 PC keys.
Okay, so you got one EU and one NA. Is that correct?
For PSVR?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so if anyone wants a key, let me get away from this.
Oh, how are we going to do that?
We're gonna the way we'd like to do it is basically whoever watched what your favorite comment was from Richard or Dan, and what your opinion is on it. We'll choose within 24 hours, and we'll let you know. That's on anybody's, on anybody's stream. Just send us the information.
At the end of this video, just leave a comment and a like, and just say what they said.
Leave a comment in my video. I will be posting it.
Yeah, we're looking to the people that are watching the show. Unfortunately, the latecomers might have had a loss on that one, but at least I'll be tuning in for next time. Wink, wink.
Yeah, no worries, man. Because there will be a PSVR chat show 3.
So anyway, thank you very much, guys. And what are we doing now? I think we're going to do a bit of Firewall, I believe, yeah?
Yeah.
Most of us.
Thank you very much, dude.
Most of us. I might have to skip out just for a little while.
Thanks for having us. It was awesome.
Oh, man, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Drop the mic. Cheers, Lewis. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, no, we don't want to be friends. Boom.
To
the top, guys. Thanks for coming, guys. That was awesome.
Sorry, I'm lagging over here. I'm trying to download the Destiny 2 update, and it's like killing my internet.
There we go. We're friends again. We're friends again.
Hit the triangle button.
There we go. How do I do it? There we go.
I'm already friends with these guys. Go ahead.
I can't help myself. Jason, I gotta go jump around, man.
I don't think we did. There we go.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Cool, man.
Yeah. We gotta get gamers.
Oh yeah, let's take some. Hold on.
Yeah, I watch the stream quite a lot actually.
Let's take a
kind of keep updated.
Put it up on the wall and save it for whoever else comes
play
in
as
here.
much as I'd like to. So when I'm at work and I'm just typing away on my computer, I
Are we doing like a group photo thing? Shughead left, guys.
Keep up to date.
It's a real honor, dude.
We can add him later if you want.
So we're doing the selfie, yeah?
Yeah, Shughead left though. Where'd Shughead go?
We'll add him later on if he wants.
Oh wow!
Are you going to set up? Jason's going to set a picture.
Jason, Jug had to go. So did VR Grid and Ryan.
Oh, pizza.
We can add them later on if they want.
I can't believe we only got cheese and tomato. Where's the pepperoni, dude?
Oh, here, I think I got one.
We need some pepperoni.
The box is empty unless you've scabbed it.
All right, everybody pile in.
Yeah, man. Jimmy, hold on.
Hello, I made it.
This is as close as I can get. I can lean in though. I can do the leaning VR.
Actually,
stuff.
I think we could. We can get about like right here. That perfectly line up across there.
Man, I can't believe people have already left.
I told him not to leave so he could take a photo.
Cerebral, you can get in front, man.
Why? Oh, because I'm short?
Yeah,
I get it. That's fine.
Yeah, I gotta get in the back because I'm tall. What's up with that?
Yeah, wait.
Here we go.
It's discrimination,
One's
guys.
coming back
Discrimination.
I'm
Guys
so
are
small.
racist against tall
Back
people.
right, hold on.
I'm tall enough.
Are they still on?
You can make yourself taller by hitting the fly button.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, man. There you go. Sorted.
There we
Trying to
go.
pull that pizza out and I left.
All right. Oh, everybody ready?
I tried to get to the
Yeah,
back.
where's Jimmy gone? He was literally... Jimmy, are you alright, yeah? You still ready?
There,
Go, man.
I'm good, I'm good.
He's there.
Go. I'm ready.
Three. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
What happened?
You were fine, and then you stuck your arms out.
I got a prize right there.
I don't know
Look
what
at
to do. I don't know what button is what
You
anymore.
can stick that picture in here, can't you?
It was an accident.
How'd it go?
Do you want to do it again? Do you want to do another one?
Yeah.
We could do another one.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, let's do one more.
Let's do one more,
There's
guys.
the pizza.
All
Oh,
right,
look at that one. That's even better.
Supreme.
Look at that. He's the best.
Do you know what's funny? I never got to see the start.
Oh, actually, no. Should we put it there or on the side? Or on the chat show side?
Awesome joystick.
Lovely.
You got it.
Look at that. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason. Where do you want to put it?
Oops.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Little pizza party afterwards.
Here, here.
Whoops.
We need to stick it, dude. We need to stick it so when everyone comes in the level, they know.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go
great.
get the gun so I can lock that.
How do we... There you
You
go.
get the gun and you can stick it on stuff, or you can put it
Hey,
downstairs.
there's a pizza down here
I
chilling.
wish that was real pizza, man. I wish that was real
There's a pizza here. There's a cheese
That's
pizza.
really cool. I
Oh,
can't
I
believe I
don't
managed to
want-
make it. I didn't think I was
I
going
love
to
the
make it.
top.
Oops.
What
can't-
happened then, Jimmy, in the end?
Oh shit! The download, right, was down for everyone pretty much in my area, right? Bobble had a problem as well.
Oops.
You gonna play Firewall?
And
There you go.
Yeah, I have to switch
Why is it
over.
just
I'm in the
a lockdown?
Oculus right now because everybody's downstairs, so I didn't want to bug them.
That's so cool.
So sorry, I couldn't get up the 3 messages.
Ready, I'm going to drop it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna hop on Firewall in a little while.
What's the best?
It's a bit
What do you think?
difficult.
It's a
So,
hard one,
I can't get out of here.
Do you know how to?
What's up?
You know how to fly on the
later,
Oculus?
everybody.
Oh, I don't know. It was like a double tap on the move buttons.
It was funny. You guys totally trapped me in there. I couldn't move anywhere. I was like, oh.
Locking.
Oh, yeah.
Unable to change settings of
That's
Polaroid.
good.
Oh, well, I'll just save it as is. I'll lock that down.
This is really cool. This is a nice little level here. I'm probably gonna say peace out to GT. Oh, no, I
Great
almost fell.
job, guys.
Oh, there it goes.
Whatever.
Super slow.
Where is GT? Gamer tag.
This is rooftop.
There we go. A real thing. Like,
Rooftops
you have the
and,
chairs, we got the whole thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun.
that's cool.
Snazzy. You guys can jump up here. Look, you can get up and climb the bridge. Better go in my stream.
Oh.
Yeah, where did gamer tag go?
See, they're American.
Where you at, gamer tag?
Left for Firewall.
He's at the bottom.
I was just down there.
Is that your work? I did all of that, yeah.
Just flying around somewhere.
I figured it out.
Maybe he's ending his live stream. He goes far
Yeah.
away.
Oh, there he is.
Hello!
Yeah,
A
he
little
was
goofy.
flying around.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, there he is.
I'm just trying to finish all the stuff before I save it here.
All right, gamer.
Guys, look at that!
Oh my god. Gamer tag, come back down real quick. Hey, buddy.
So full of pizza.
I'm going to save this real quick, so it's going to refresh you guys, just so the room's
Come
here.
back to the main spot.
If it flashes, that's just me saving it. Just ignore it.
Everyone to the lounge, please. Everyone to the lounge. What just happened?
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad everyone enjoyed it.
Oh, so
the real-
yeah, dude. Thanks a
Sorry
lot,
about
man.
that,
Oh,
guys.
I'll get rid of that. Sorry about that.
How you doing?
All right, man. Thanks a lot, gamer tag. That was awesome, dude. Can't wait to.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man. That was so much fun, guys. I'm probably gonna end it right there. I'm gonna head to the what's it called, the dorm room, end the streams and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know what's going on. He's saving the room.
Oh, he's saving different bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna see if I can take a screenshot of this piece
Cerebral, I
here.
just want to say thank you for taking the time out, and also
Yeah.
thank you for what you've done on my channel.
I think
Like
we're already friends.
back in the early days, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. That was no.
Did
You didn't
honestly,
have to
I have
do
no
that.
idea. Like,
Lewis, that picture turned out
I mean,
so good.
What's up?
it was awesome to just get reached out to by somebody.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
when
cool.
you're making your first game, people are like, "Hey, we want to play your game on stream." We're like, hell yeah, play my game on stream. So yeah, this is pretty
It
awesome.
blows my mind all the
It
time.
was
blows
awesome,
my mind
dude.
all the time when I play that game. There's so many things I go, oh, why have they done that? Oh, that's so cool. Like the hidden stuff, the layers, the logo.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a screenshot of this whole thing here. Doesn't matter who's standing there at this point.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, guys. I'll catch you guys later. I might pop on the Firewall in a little while. I got to take care of the dog.
All right, Lewis.
Later, okay.
All right, guys. See you soon.
Catch you later, Lewis.
Later, brothers.
Right,
Later,
guys.
brothers.
Probably jump in the Firewall.
Yeah, man. I'll see you all on Firewall, yeah? Pre,
All right.
got Ken, you're on Firewall?
I'm going to take a quick break.
Woo, that was a lot of fun, guys. There was a lot of chat going on there, and there was all kinds of dramas and stuff. It was fun. It wasn't drama, but you know what I'm saying. There was a lot of cool stuff going on. A lot of people talking at the same time. A lot of fun. Developers of To The Top were really cool, and yeah, I wanted to talk about Firewall most of the time. You know, that was really cool though. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you were here watching the PSVR chat show, that gamer tag I created in that room that Jimith and the Livinator had created was really cool. It was really fun to like hop around in there. I'm not really like a big fan of To The Top like that because of the, the heights and everything. You know, it kind of scares me and stuff. Like, but it's all good though, man. They're really cool guys. Other than that, I'm probably going to be on some Firewall later for another stream, if anything. So stay tuned for that. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all the other guys that were in the thing. Chat show, and smash that like button, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Love y'all.